There are 80 million acres of grass lawn in the United States. I'm going to explain to you the benefits of a food forest of pollinator gardens. I guarantee you, if you watch this video, there are going to be at least two or three things you didn't even think about. The benefits are enormous. This is integrated with everything. This is integrated to your personal life, to your health, to your well being, to nature, to community, to society. Food forests are crucial for so many reasons. And first of all, as far as sustainable agriculture, food forests can be zero maintenance. Food forests are amazing perennial systems that come back every year. The simple fact is that a food forest, something like this, takes less maintenance than a grass lawn. And so you can basically take all the resources that we're putting into maintaining 80 million acres of grass lawns within the United States, pour them into food forests, and grow a big portion of our own food, of the fruits we eat, of the vegetables we eat in our own yards. It's an absolutely amazing solution because you can basically take those resources that are marshaled into a useless thing, grass lawns, which are actually bad for the environment, both because of the chemicals that they off gas and just the simple or off gas, the chemicals we put into them, the runoff, and the simple fact that they're taking up habitat. So food forests are just an amazing solution. People who say it's not practical, it's not the future of agriculture, you're stuck thinking in a model where we have to have a big farm that produces a certain amount of food per input, and then we distribute to the masses with harvesting, distribution, storage, grocery stores, this massive source of infrastructure, when simply everyone could have food growing in their yard in these pretty much zero maintenance systems. And whether you do your own grass lawn, mowing it yourself, whether you pay someone to do it, less time, less energy to do that, and you're getting healthier food. So let's talk about health. As far as a food forest, I mean, I'm getting a bunch of exercise. I'm outside. That's great for my health. But that's just one small thing. Just having a food forest, basically, you're getting vine ripened fruit. I made a whole video about how organic is a total scam. As far as the food, the quality you're getting from food forests, this is actual quality, real food. When you experience this food, you'll never want to go back to organic food. It's completely different. The nutritional quality is off the charts. The lack of chemicals, there's no chemicals. Organic agriculture still uses chemicals. The fruit is vine ripened, it's fully ripe. There's a lot of biochemical differences in fruit that is vine ripened, fully ripe versus stuff that is picked before it's ripe and then shipped. But as far as the quality of the food, I'm not going to get into the science of it. If you don't believe me on that, go do your own research. Go look into the standards for organic, how it's basically just a blacklist of a few certain chemicals. And then just having a beautiful outdoor space. So having a place like this that you can just go outside, it's great for your nervous system. It's great for stress. Having an actual ecosystem in your yard is a beautiful experience. It's amazing for your well-being, for your health. It's a great experience. Just having these in our neighborhoods could be a wonderful place for people to go pick fruit. And it really takes so little time. When you have a fruit tree coming back every year, it literally takes less time to go pick a shit ton of fruit than it would to go to the grocery store, spend a bunch of money, drive there, drive back. Um, whoa, holy shit. So, so this is just one yard I'm doing with my company, Eternal Harvest, building a food forest here. I imagine that the whole 80 million acres of grass lawn in the United States could be converted to, it doesn't even need to be for growing food. It can just be native plants that support pollinators, that support bees, insects, habitat. But of course, we should grow our own food as well in those same systems. And from there, we would have less of a need for these millions, many more millions, hundreds of millions, billions of acres of cornfields of industrial agriculture that take up even more space than grass lawns. And so simply reducing the amount of space we need for industrial agriculture because there's less of a need for it will make it so that we can restore a lot of that area to habitat, to nature, to preservation and conservation if the policy is right. And from there, we can actually also do regenerative agriculture. We can do large scale, rotational, regenerative, 100% grass fed cattle grazing. We can do pasture raised pork. We can have chickens that are actually pasture raised, and we can have this integrated. We can have giant flocks of cattle, of bison that rotationally graze millions and millions of acres of regenerative prairies that are basically essentially identical to wild habitat, and they would typically be grazed by the tens of millions of bison that used to be on the Great Plains of the United States. And then we can go and we can get some meat out of that too from animals that had a happy life that's super, super healthy if we want. And I mean, that's just a bonus on top of the fact that this is what would already be happening. And that's the key to these systems is people make arguments about how efficient industrial agriculture is. No, what's really efficient is the fact that tens of millions of bison would roam the Great Plains with no human money intervention, time, and input. And from there, we could easily go and take some of the bison and kill them and eat them in a sustainable way. And we could even manage them a little bit with electric fencing. But at a certain point, when you have millions and millions of acres of Great Plains, the cows know to rotationally graze. We don't have to use electric fencing to tell cattle to rotationally graze. We only use electric fencing to tell cattle to rotationally graze because of the fact that they're in small areas. We want to keep them in one little paddock on our property line. But when you have millions of acres of the Great Plains that could be restored from these cornfields, soy fields, you can take that and just let the cattle roam free with no input. And so that's what's truly efficient. What's truly efficient is a zero input system where all you have to do is go kill the cow and then eat it. And that's it. That's all you would have to do if we just restored the Great Plains. You can have tens of millions of animals roaming the Great Plains. And from there, the same principle applies to a food forest. A food forest is essentially a forest ecosystem. So what I have here are trees, bushes, shrubs that form a little mini ecosystem, and that's why you can just walk outside every year and harvest fruit, because it's a self-maintaining ecosystem. So that's the video. If you want to follow along, I'm building these food forests, pollinator gardens for people. If you want me to build or design it for you, go to eternalharvestgardens.com. Peace.